in here. We in here, baby. What up? What up? What up? Give it some time. Give it some time. Give it some time. Give it some time. So you gotta take a deep breath and relax and chill before you start. But yeah, man, just getting off. Just getting off my wage slave. But the title of this video is for a specific demographic. This is for a specific demographic. Black males, in particular, my Black American brothers, from the age, foundational Black Americans, from the age of 20, and I would say upwards, say age of 40. But let's focus on that range. If you are in Los Angeles, California, you could be from LA, you could have moved to LA, if you are here in LA, and this is from the perspective of someone, hold on, let me make sure, let me check this out. This is from the perspective of someone who's been here for a year. I'm a very observant person. I read a lot. Turn it down. I read a lot. I study a lot, and I just observe. I observe my environment. I read a lot. I observe a lot. I pay attention to people. So even though I only been in LA for about a year, I'm the type of person that I just pay attention to stuff. I can pick up on energies. I can pick up on things on my environment pretty fast. You know, maybe something that's natural. I don't know. But I can pretty much pick up on a place pretty fast. I don't need to stay there for 2 or 3 years. I don't need to be there for, such a long time to get a vibe, to get an energy for a place. And like I said, I read the news, I pay attention, I study, all these things. I'm saying this to Black males from the age of 20 to 40. If you don't have no children, if you don't have like a career, I'm not talking about working as a bus driver or working as a security guard or doing some, working at a fast food restaurant. That's not a career. I'm talking about, lawyers, doctors, even a tradesman, like a master plumber or electrician, something like that. If you don't have none of that, and you don't own no property's about to get passed down to you, right? What's up? Will, I guess your name's Will. No property's about to get passed down to you. You ain't got nothing. You're not in college. You're not in trade school. I would suggest that you move down south. I would suggest that you move down south, or you move to a city like Detroit, to the Midwest, where our numbers are higher. Right? Our numbers are higher. Why do I say this? Like I said, I've only been here for a year, but what I can see, and I look at the demographics, right? I go online, I type in demographics of LA, demographics of Los Angeles County. You got to understand, You're outnumbered. You're outnumbered. You are outnumbered. There are only 700 to 8, maybe, and I think that's generous, about 700,000 black Americans currently in Los Angeles County. That's 2025. And that, I haven't broken down out of that 700 how many are black males of adult working age. That's just 700,000 in total. So that includes babies, that includes women, that includes the elderly, all that, handicap, all that. What's that telling me? That tells me there are, and now when you look at the other side, there are over 50% of Hispanics in Los Angeles, California. And that includes all those different type of categories. There are over 50% of Hispanics in Los Angeles County, and that includes working class males. You don't stand a chance, because it's like this: you're outnumbered. If you're trying to get into these industries, and they control these industries. This is what I see. They control warehousing. They control construction. They control service jobs. They control the trades jobs. So what are you really going to do? And the way they're playing, they're not playing to try to let you in. Their goal is to keep you out. They're playing not to say, oh, let's bring more blacks in. No, their goal is, how can we bring more of our own kind in? And so when you look at those odds, you got to realize, if you choose to stay, and I understand. You may, this may be where you're from. I understand. You may have, friends, family ties, all these things. This is what you're most comfortable with. I understand that. It's hard just picking up and going to a new place and not knowing nobody, not having no type of connections. But you got to be thinking about your future, man. Trust me. This is coming from somebody that realized a lot of mistakes that I made in my life. And now that I'm not in a situation to really move like I want to move. I can't really move like I want to move anymore. So, because I have responsibilities, I have individuals that depend on me. So I can't just go and pick up. But understand this. If I was a single male, no children, no responsibilities, no wife, no none of that, I'd get out of here. Because I would see the environment, and I would say, it's going to be very hard for me to win in this environment. And it's not about like being negative or just giving up. That's not what it is. It's to know when you're outnumbered. Like, you may be an excellent fighter. You may know how to throw them things. You may be a trained boxer, a trained martial artist. And let's say you out alone and there's 50 men surrounding you, and maybe they don't know how to fight. Maybe they don't know how to fight. And maybe you're the only one that know how to fight out of that 50. But you are outnumbered, because when you're trying to take down, let's say 5 or 6, there's another 5 or 10 over here coming from this angle, coming from this angle, coming from this angle. So when you're looking at that situation, you might say, okay, the best thing to do is to run. You're not a coward. You're not fearful, but you just realize that you're outnumbered and this is a losing battle. And not to think maybe some of these people have weapons. So I see how they moving out here. I feel the hostility. I feel the energy. What it tell you, right? I'm riding down the street on multiple occasions. I just see people hanging big ass Mexico flags out the window, riding down this, like we in America. We in California. I know they may say, well, at one time California was Mexico. Yeah, for a short period of time. And it was only Mexico because Spain, the Spanish Empire, who colonized Mexico and had Mexico as a colony for 300 years. And they branched out and they started to take other lands before it was United States. And when Spain decided, okay, we're done with Mexico or whatever transpired, those territories that Spain had under its control, well, they naturally say, okay, well, since we're leaving Mexico, at least since we're getting rid of our colony of Mexico, well, yes, if they're owned through their base in Mexico, they just passed down to Mexico. But Mexico only owned it for 27 years. They only had it for 27 years, and then the U.S. came along, the Mexican War happened, and then bam, then the U.S. got it. They gave them $15 million for it. But I understand a lot of them don't know their history. A lot of them don't know the history. But just seeing that, and it's okay to be proud about your country. I'm not saying be proud about your country, but I also question this. I question this. If I was so proud about a country, I would be there. I'm just I would figure out, how can I get there? If I ever move to a whole nother country and I'm there for, let's say, some years, now all of a sudden I'm walking around, I'm waving the American flag, I'm waving the United States flag all through the streets, all through everywhere I go throughout that country. You know what I'm gonna do? If I get to that point where I'm walking and I'm living in another country, I don't care if that country belonged at one period to the country that I'm from. If I'm waving my American flag in another country, guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to plan to get back to America, because obviously I'm waving my American flag because I love it so much. So I'm waving my American flag because I love it so much. Well, I'm about to get back to America. But if I move to another country, I'm going to be like, my mindset is, I moved to this other country because I was tired of America. I don't want to be in America no more. So when I'm living in another country, let's say I don't like that country. Let's say, man, I've been here for a year, 2 years. I don't really like this country. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try another country. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna figure out what country I like. And eventually I'll land on the country that I like. But I'm just saying, that's getting off a topic. To my Black American, foundational Black American males in the age range of 20 to 40. If you're single, if you don't have no children, no responsibilities, you don't have a career, you don't have none of that, I'm telling you, and what I'm observing, I think the game is too late. And I know y'all saying, well, ICE, Trump is doing all these ICE raids, but they're not doing ICE raids against people that are citizens, are legally citizens, are legally authorized to be here. They're doing these raids against people that are not authorized to be here. And even if they get rid of 20,000, 30,000, whatever, that's still a small fraction of, like I said, it's over 50%. Over 50%. And that's out of 9 million. I think that's out of 9 million people. Over 50% of those people in LA County are of a Hispanic origin. And that's 50%. Now look, that's 50% that identify as Hispanic. They don't take the other, I think it's 23% that are Hispanic, got a Latin last name, but they identify as white. So when you look at these numbers, man, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm sorry to say it, but it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. It is a wrap. It's too late. We had to. I know, we had to blame, and I don't blame us, man. I don't blame the millennials. I don't blame. You can't blame the millennials. You can't blame the Gen Z. You can't blame them. You gotta blame. You gotta blame our parents, man. You gotta blame your parents. You gotta blame your grandparents. They dropped the fucking ball. They dropped the ball. They didn't. They was on this kumbaya type of vibe when other groups wasn't playing that way. They wasn't playing that way. You know, they were on this. Let's hold hands and love everybody. Nah, this is competition. This is competition for scarce resources. And our parents, our grandparents, they dropped the ball. Hey, mama. Oh, watch your head, baby. Yeah, hey, big boy. Yeah. Time to go. All right, I'm waiting in the car. Just come on. Everybody come out. Y'all just come out. I mean, shit, just come all out at once. Just come up out of here. Yeah. Just come up out. The sun is already going down anyway. Yeah, y'all. Make yourself difficult, man. Let me talk back with y'all. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm about to be back. This is live, man. This is live. And direct. Oh, we back. Yeah, but like I'm saying, it don't mean defeat. It doesn't mean defeat. It means sometimes you gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them. You gotta know when to hold them, and you gotta know when to fold them. That's the game. And I'm just saying, it might be time to fold them. It's that's if you don't want to waste your life. If you want to waste your life, keep going. If you want to stay at a mediocre job, and and because I see when I'm looking at what a lot of black males in that age range that I have listed in the title. You know what type of jobs they doing? They doing security guard jobs. They doing, some of them working bus drivers, fast food, retail. That's not a reason to stay in an area, where the cost of living is so goddamn high and it's going up. I would say this, like you can go to a place like Detroit, somewhere in Georgia, down south, and you can get into a trade, right? You can still do security out there. Security, you got a guard card, you could do a security guard job anywhere, right? And you can go to a place like I said, and let's say you can say, okay, I want to get into trade school. And so you can get into trade school out there. You can say, okay, well, I'm working as a security guard. The cost is going to be much cheaper in outside of California. I want to go be a plumber. Bam. So now you got your security guard job. You going to plumber school. You're learning your plumbing trade. Bam. You get your plumbing. Now you're doing your plumbing. You get your plumbing license. And now you know what you can do. Now because there's a lot of black males out there that probably are doing plumbing, work for plumbing companies, have a plumbing company. You in a much better situation to link up, and one of your brothers is gonna look out for you. But out here, they not gonna look out for you. They only looking out for their own. I mean, And you can't blame them. That's the way this world is. You know, we're gonna look out for our own. So you can't blame them for wanting to look out for their own. But the reality is the numbers is just too it's too much. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. It's a losing battle. You know what I'm saying? And what at the end of the day, it's your choice though. I'm just saying. You gonna decide what you want to do. But I can look at the scene, I can say, man, I don't know what these brothers gonna do out here. You know, my line of work, I go to these warehouses. I go to these different businesses. I'm in and out in different businesses all throughout LA County. All throughout LA County. And all I see in the warehouses, all these places I go, in my line of work, I don't see no brothers in there. If you might see one or two here and there, but literally, it's no brothers in these places. And if you think that's by accident, you are a fool. If you think that all these warehouses, these factories, these businesses are all, there's no literally next to no brothers working in them, next to no black males working in them, and it's all Hispanic people working in them, and if you think that's an accident, you're a fool. That's not an accident. They created that situation. You dig? That's all I got to say, y'all, man. You know, if y'all watch this on the replay, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. This is your brother, Jay, tapping back in once again. Peace.